hopes to soon be the #1 overall pick as well and join the elite list of top 10 players in the NFL, according to a panel of our experts here at ESPN. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes takes the #1 spot this season in a list that includes multiple representatives for the 49ers and Bengals. And with that, it's time for an A-list.
Remember, I got my top 5 NFL teams. Keep in mind, the list is fluid.
You cannot tell me this is the 5th best team in the NFL.
This list is fluid.
I can't muster the energy to ever give him an A in anything.
Well, because a lack of compassion.
Lack of compassion.
The A-list is about me. I know it's fluid, but it's about me.
I agree with this list.
It's a good list.
C- for the list, and I'm going to give you a C- for the concept.
You better be in mid-season form.
I don't need to be in mid-season form. It's the preseason. I show up when it's time, okay? But it's an A-list. We need to have this A-list because we need to start up the season by recognizing who the top elite players in the game today. Dan Orlovsky, remember, the list is fluid.
Not for other people,
It's fluid.
not for me.
Okay, it's fluid. Let's keep that in mind. As we move forward. Let's go to #5 on the list. Please give it to me right now. Bam! Justin Jefferson. Why? He's in Minnesota. 1,800 receiving yards, 128 receptions last year. A lot of people are looking at him and saying, well, this is the best receiver in football. Listen, if they're saying that about him, then you can't ignore him from being a top 5 player, considering the fact that especially Dalvin Cook's going to be gone. Kirk Cousins is going to have to rely on him even more extensively and what have you. You got to look at it from that perspective. Everybody and their grandmama say he's an absolute stud. We got to give love where love is due. He deserves it. I'm putting him in my top 5. Let's go to #4 on the list. Please give it to me right now. Bam! Josh Allen. Why? Because of what you just said, Dan Orlovsky, just a little while ago. What this man brings to the table, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 13-win season last year. Did it show up like he needed to in a divisional playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals? But the reality of the situation is clear. When you look at the stud that is Josh Allen, he's got size, he's got arm strength, he can make every conceivable throw. He can run with the football. He's rough and rugged. He can extend plays. We know all of this about him. Bit too risky at times, but nevertheless, without question, he's a top 5 stud in the NFL. Nobody. #3 for me, though, Dan. I'm going to give you #3 right here. Nick Bosa. Why? Normally, we would have the Aaron Donalds of the world on this list. Here's why this has changed. Aaron Donald missed a few games last year. The Los Angeles Rams didn't have the greatest season last year. We know he'll come back, even though people have been debating slippage. I would never do that with Aaron Donald. I know how much of a stud he is. But this brother right here, Nick Bosa, 18.5 sacks last year. Didn't miss a game.
Okay.
I missed one game. I'm sorry. The year before that, had 15.5 sacks. 34 sacks over the last 2 years.
Okay.
We know how lethal he is. We know how big-time San Francisco's defense is. When he's on the field, he elevates them to another level. He's one of, if not the elite defensive player in the game today. We can't ignore that reality. He ain't top 2, though. Give it to me right here. Bam! Joe Burrow. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something right now. Once upon a time, I was talking about those bags people were wearing over their heads in Cincinnati and how much of a joke, a pathetic joke that franchise was, and how the NFL needed to do something about getting new ownership in there because they owned them so damn cheap. All of this stuff that, notice we ain't said that since they drafted Joe Burrow. His first year, he gets there, okay, he gets injured. The next 2 years, when the brother is healthy, all he did was take the Cincinnati Bengals to a Super Bowl and beat Patrick Mahomes to get there. And then last year, he went back to the AFC Championship game, beating Josh Allen to get there before losing in a thriller to Kansas City, which, by the way, special teams had something to do with that loss, more so than anything else. Joe Burrow's that dude. Joe Burrow's that dude, okay? And Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, having them available to you, don't hurt. That's #2 on the list. Ken, there's only one #1. There's only one #1. Okay, this man right here, Patrick Mahomes, been a starting quarterback in the National Football League for 5 seasons. He's been in the AFC Championship game practically every year. Been to 3 Super Bowls, won 2 Super Bowl titles. This man is off the chain. He is something special. 5,000-plus yards passing last year. 41 touchdown passes, just 12 interceptions last year. The Kansas City Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill, who went to Miami and declared that somebody named Tua Tagovailoa would be just as lethal and just as accurate as Patrick Mahomes. And all Patrick Mahomes did was, without Tyreek Hill, went there and won the damn Super Bowl. That's what we're talking about here. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Nick Bosa, Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson. Remember, the list is fluid because there was a certain player, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, others to consider. The list is fluid. But this is my list going in to the 2023 National Football League season.
2 items of business to handle before you guys give out grades. You can join the conversation at home. All you need to do is access the QR code that will pop up on the screen in moments. Submit your grade. We want you involved. And one other thing, I just remember at approximately like 10:30 in the B block, I asked, will Rodgers be the best quarterback in the AFC East?
Yep.
that
And you said
has nothing to do with this list. That has nothing to do with this list.
I was just wondering.
Going into the season, that's what I believe will happen once the season is said and done. But going into the season, these should be the top 5 players that you look at.
Okay, Dan, RC, it's all you boys.
Okay, RC, let me go first. First of all, you start the segment by saying it's preseason. No, it's not.
To me, it is.
No.
Has the game been played yet?
The preseason
Has the regular
is
season
over.
been played yet?
No.
Has the regular season game been played
Preseason's
yet?
over.
But the regular season hasn't started
The
yet.
American public, preseason is over. We are into the regular season. Number 2, Molly's point in relation to Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers is 100% right.
It's not.
You're saying this is a top 5 player going into the season, but then you're also saying he won't play top 5 football.
Yes. When it's all said and done, when we look at the season, come December.
Okay.
When we look at the season, come December,
Yeah, it was just a
we'll
little
have a different
confusing.
narrative.
It was a little
I have 2
confusing for
questions.
some of
That's
us.
all.
Questions, and I'm asking them at the same time. Journalists,
Y'all need to watch soap operas.
No.
Y'all really do, because y'all understand.
We're
You would
working
understand.
during the day.
You will
No,
understand.
we don't have time.
Oh, no, the TiVo.
We're working.
TiVo. Oh, yeah, I
It's not
You're cheap behind. You're
Did
cheap
you
behind.
just say
TiVo?
TiVo?
I said TiVo.
It's not
It's
DVR.
DVR.
Listen, I always say
Oh
TiVo.
my
but
God,
DVR.
even my father knows it's
You
DVR.
are too cheap to buy
TiVo.
DVR. Okay?
2
Go ahead.
questions.
Is that VHS? Or is that cassette tape?
My man said TiVo.
I know TiVo.
Let's throw back from where those pants are, too.
I hope your daughters are
Travis
watching.
Kelce dead?
Say what?
Travis Kelce dead?
No, he's alive and well. I got him on honorable mention. He's right there, like right below.
Honorable mention?
He's right below there.
Michael Parsons dead?
No,
So, where are they?
I'm not going to put a cowboy on this list. That's not going to happen. Oh, you cancel that. I'm not putting a cowboy on the top 5 list. I mean, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Do you think Michael Parsons deserved to be put ahead of Nick Bosa?
It's not my list.
Yes.
RC,
Stephen A. Smith.
RC, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Where's
RC.
Travis
Stephen A. Smith.
Go ahead, RC.
With all due respect, I do get that when you do these lists,
Right.
it is very hard to keep it from being 5 quarterbacks, right? Because if we're talking about the most important people in the
Yes.
NFL, quarterbacks win the MVPs constantly. So I love the fact that Justin Jefferson is in your top 5 because he deserves to be. He was that dangerous last year. He was that productive. And I love Joe Burrow. I think Josh Allen is great. But to just go off of last year and not have Jalen Hurts, who went toe-to-toe with your number 1 player, and it was in no way his team, it was in no way his fault that his team didn't win the Super Bowl. And to not have him on this list makes 0 sense. And don't get me wrong.
I disagree with that. You
There's
can't
a
say
lot
zero.
of times,
You
there's
can't
a
say
lot of
zero,
times you
Rocky.
don't make sense. There's a lot of times you don't make sense, Stephen A. But this one doesn't make sense in a way that even you can't explain it with one of your eloquent soliloquies.
Okay.
Nino Brown can't explain it. Martin Lawrence can't explain it. The fact that you now purposely buy shirts like I wear in hopes of having my level of intelligence can't explain it. Jalen Hurts belongs in the top 5 in every top 5, no matter who's top 5.
Okay.
And this is a F list because he's not in your top 5.
Do I get to respond to your soliloquy? First of all, RC.
Absolutely.
Just because someone else is greater don't mean I ain't great. So let's get that out the way first. You bring up your brilliant soliloquy. There are levels to this. I get all of that. But let me respond to this, okay? Micah Parsons is an absolute stud. I know all of that. So is Travis Kelce. I mean, come on. It's Travis Kelce we're talking about here. I get all of that. But when you bring up Jalen Hurts, for example, did we not sit here last year and despite never failing to rave about him and his growth and his level of excellence, did we not sit up here and talk about what a complete team the Philadelphia Eagles were? Sure. The multitude of weapons that they had everywhere on both sides of the ball. And we made it a point to highlight that the team that is the Eagles was why they were where they were, even though you gave Jalen Hurts all the credit in the world because he deserves it. So I can leave him off that list based on that premise alone, in my respectful opinion. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be considered top-notch. I'm saying that what he was asked to do is considerably less than what others were asked to do because they didn't have the team he had available to him. Travis, that's my argument. You might disagree with it, I'm saying you might not like it, but it's a sensible argument, damn it. You can disagree, but I'm not talking as like pie in the sky. That's a reality because we raved about the Eagles all last year. When we look at a guy like Travis Kelce, we know what kind of a study is, but we also rave about the greatness of Patrick Mahomes and how so much greater he makes other people look as well. I'm looking at Justin Jefferson, and I'm saying, it's Kirk Cousins throwing him the damn football. Now, I know Kirk Cousins good, but he ain't no damn Patrick Mahomes. He ain't Joe Burrow. He ain't Josh Allen. He ain't Lamar Jackson. I can say that. I mean, come on, y'all acting like I ain't making no sense here. Now, you might disagree. You might have a little list that you might want to alter, but I got arguments for every single point. Nick Bosa is not a stud. The man's got 34 sacks over the last 2 years. You tell Joe Burrow at LSU before he got to Cincinnati. And when we were talking about Josh Allen, you see what Joe Burrow's doing? Come on now. I'm making this up here.
I think Joe Burrow should be on the list.
Something wrong with y'all.
No. Where I disagree with
Jalen Hurts deserves to be on the list.
Go ahead.
What about Lamar Jackson?
Jalen Hurts does.
What about Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson doesn't belong in the top 5 this year. Jalen Hurts belongs in every top 5 based on what he did. Every single one. On his individual play, on what the team looked like with Gardner Minshew instead of him playing, and where they finished.
Really quick, because I need grades. No, you're done. You're done. Very defensive arguments by you. Trying to talk people into it. RC, give him a grade, please. RC, what's your grade?
This is a C list.
A C list?
Stephen C's list.
Okay, Dan, what would you say?
I'd give it a C-, hanging on by dear thread.
Okay, so here's what the public thought. We had our friends, our First Take fan vote at home, and about 40% gave you a B, and many a C. So about on par, slightly above what the guy. So our audience is on the same page
18%.
as Dan and RC.
Hold on. See, that's lied. Molly just lied.
No.
Dan Orlovsky gave me a C-. The audience, most of them gave me a B.
No, first of all, 40%. It's called a QR code. It's a QR code. I didn't just make up random numbers. People actually voted at home, and the majority gave you a B, but a significant amount, the second category, was a C, similar to where RC and Dan have you.
40% gave me a B.
Okay.
18% gave me an A. The way I look at it, 58% gave me a B or better.
All right, you got to hang on. Hang on to that 18%. You hang on.
58% gave me a B or better.
Probably because they can't see those shoes.
That slim margin of an audience that gave you an A.
Slim margin, 58%.
18% gave you an A.
These are Christian Louboutins, brothers.
He's got everything.
No. You wouldn't. I know you ain't talking about sneakers right now.
Are those clouds?
I know you ain't talking about sneakers right now. Look at these sneakers right here. You talk about my sneakers? Really? Looking like. Okay.
Stay on my dog shoes.